obviously you got a lot of attention talking about the government shutdown. Right now, if you could text Trump or Instagram him, what would you say to him?
That I wasn't going to pop my head out of the sand for anything.
Why would you? I mean, does Bob Hope do it? Did Bing Crosby do it? Does Mick Jagger do it?
Come on.
We've not got involved with politics or religion.
Yeah, but this is on the home front. And also, back in the presidential election, I was in such a horrendous place.
Say right now is
Bob Hope and
First
Bing
of all,
Crosby.
these aren't your dad's celebrities. And
What do Taylor Swift and Cardi B have in common? Besides being megastars, they both just roasted Donald Trump in the funniest ways imaginable. From Taylor's concert mic drop to Cardi's Super Bowl meltdown, the jabs were sharp, hilarious, and weirdly relatable. But what exactly did they say, and why does it have Trump so rattled? Let's break down their iconic takedowns. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
I'm sure Taylor Swift has nothing or doesn't know anything about her. And let's say that I like Taylor's music about 25% less now, okay?
What happens when one of the world's biggest pop stars uses her stage for more than music? Well, Taylor Swift just made waves at her Chicago concert, turning her platform into a political mic drop moment that left everyone talking. If you followed Swift's career, you'll know she used to steer far away from politics, keeping her opinions as private as an unreleased track.
If you look at those images there, they're not all fake, but the majority is fake. The image of the one woman, the blonde woman there, that is actually a real photo. But the rest of them, especially the one of Taylor Swift, is fake. As we see, Taylor Swift is really always there for her fans. And after that tragic attack, she wanted to be there for her fans. But that brings us to these fake AI images that Trump reposted, and she says that the media is missing the mark there. By putting all the focus on the fake AI images, they are missing out on the fact that there are many Swifties who hold conservative views who are there for Trump.
But that's changed dramatically in recent years. And on that night in Chicago, she decided to strike the most vocal chord yet. While her glittering stage setup and endless hits kept the audience on their feet, it was Swift's unexpected pause between songs that became the night's highlight. Standing there, surrounded by thousands of her die-hard fans, Taylor didn't sugarcoat a thing. She looked out into the roaring crowd and declared Donald Trump the worst president we've ever had, sending shockwaves through that arena and eventually across the internet. The cheers from her fans were deafening. But as always, in the politically charged world we live in, not everyone was clapping.
I just hate him. I don't even want to get political, you know what I'm saying? I have a court case.
Twitter exploded. People were either hailing her as a hero or accusing her of everything from pandering to stirring the pot just to trend. And trend she did. Within hours, hashtags like Shunk Taylor Swift was right and Taylor Swift hates Trump were buzzing. Her fans, who, let's face it, know how to run the internet better than most political strategists, didn't just share her comment. They made memes, started Twitter threads, and even spliced her statement over footage of Trump's rallies for dramatic effect. Whether you agreed with her or not, it was clear she had managed to hit a nerve. But let's be real. Swift didn't script that line just for clout. Her disdain for Trump runs deeper, and she's not afraid to address it. In an interview shortly after the concert, Taylor explained that what scared her most wasn't Trump's ego or his many scandals. It was the division and anger he kept fueling. She called it incredibly cruel and admitted that the possibility of another term made her fearful for everyday people living under his policies. It goes hand in hand with something Swift's fans already know. Her evolving political voice isn't new. Back in 2020, she officially endorsed Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, marking one of her first big public entries into politics. That endorsement coincided with a spike in youth voter registration. According to Vote.org, Swift's partnership helped inspire tens of thousands of young people to register. It wasn't as just a trend. It was movement building. One of the most striking things about this shift is how she transitioned from being a country pop sweetheart who never hinted at her beliefs to a vocal advocate for progressive issues. Critics often ask if celebrities should even talk about politics, but in Taylor's case, her words clearly hold power. During the Chicago concert, when she delivered her anti-Trump statement, the crowd didn't just clap politely. They erupted. Fans were crying, yelling, and pointing at her like she had just belted the bridge of All Too Well. The energy in that arena wasn't just about music, it was about a shared hope that maybe they weren't alone in wanting something or someone different. And this isn't just about Taylor Swift going viral, it's about the ripples her voice creates. Studies have identified how celebrity endorsements, especially from figures younger voters trust, directly influence civic engagement. Swift's fans skew younger, more diverse, and, let's face it, a little obsessed. When she speaks, her platform reaches fans who might never scroll through a ballot guide or tune into a debate. Her words don't just sit in an arena, they stick, spreading to TikTok feeds and Instagram stories and live streams. What's wild about all this is that Taylor probably knew the backlash she was about to face. For every supporter cheering her on, there are trolls spamming her Instagram with snake emojis and poorly worded rants about how she should stay out of it. But she's unbothered. Honestly, judging by her fearless delivery, it's clear she doesn't care about MAGA Twitter's opinion, probably about as much as Trump cares about reading a book cover to cover. Her step into politics isn't just entertainment, it's action. Her comment in Chicago wasn't just a reckless dig, it was aimed carefully at energizing young voters. Looking at how she used her platform during the Biden campaign, it's hard to ignore her ability to turn words into action. The numbers don't lie. Voter registration among millennials and Gen Z spiked significantly after her endorsement. That's not just hype, it's measurable impact. So, while the internet debates Swift's motives or whether celebrities should talk politics at all, she's doing what she's always done best, using her influence to connect with people. This time not over exes or heartbreak, but over the future of the country. But Swift wasn't the only one taking aim. How did Cardi B turn her political roast into a viral sensation? When Cardi B grabs a mic, you know it's going to be iconic, but this time, she wasn't in the recording studio. At a campaign rally for Kamala Harris in Philadelphia, Cardi took the stage in a sequined American flag outfit that somehow managed to be both patriotic and wildly Cardi. The crowd was already buzzing, but what followed was the kind of fiery, no-holds-barred speech only Cardi could deliver. And the main target of her verbal takedown? Donnie Dunk, her not-so-affectionate nickname for Trump. Her speech was equal parts hilarious and hard-hitting. Cardi didn't just come to make people laugh. She dug into Trump's policies and broke them down in ways that hit home, literally. She joked that under Trump's watch, the price of eggs could rival the cost of gold, but the humor had a sharp edge. Using humor to tackle economic justice, Cardi called out how working families were struggling under policies that seemed designed to benefit the rich. Unlike a lot of polished political speeches, hers stuck because she didn't sound like she was reading from a script. She talked like she does in her Instagram lives, raw, real, and loud enough to demand attention. Then, shifting gears but keeping the energy high, Cardi dove straight into voting rights. She reminded the crowd that young people, especially people of color, are often the targets of voter suppression tactics. By they, I mean some old white men in suits, don't want y'all voting, she said, earning a roar of agreement. Her rant about planned rollbacks on voting access was punctuated with real-world examples. People waiting hours to cast their ballots, polling places mysteriously vanishing, and even restrictions on voter ID. These weren't abstract political issues, but real barriers that Cardi called on her audience to destroy by showing up and voting. No excuses. She didn't stop there. Taking a deep breath, but let's be real, no one thought she was calming down. She aimed her words at Trump's stance on women's rights. Cardi described the recent push for legislation monitoring pregnancies to enforce abortion bans, calling Trump's approach pregnancy police and adding, "This fool really out here wanting pregnancy police like we in The Handmaid's Tale." The crowd went wild. It wasn't just the punchline. It was the underlying message about personal freedoms being threatened that landed hard, especially for the women in the audience. Unsurprisingly, Cardi's speech pulled Trump's camp out of the woodwork. While the rally was going viral on social media, Trump's team decided to call her out, labeling her as vulgar. But come on, as if Cardi was going to let that one slide. Her response was classic Cardi too, a 10-second clip from her 2019 Grammy performance featuring suggestive moves and all, captioned with, "Vulgar honey, this is art. Your boss paid hush money to a porn star. Sit down." Boom, mic drop. And because it's Cardi, that clapback didn't just stay on Twitter, it racked up 2 million likes in under an hour, drowning out whatever narrative Trump's team was trying to spin. But here's the kicker. Cardi's speech wasn't just about creating viral moments or roasting Trump for sport. Her words lit a fire under her audience. Within a day of the rally, her team reported a stunning 212% jump in volunteer signups among women under 35. That's not just clout, that's real action. Cardi didn't just bring people to the rally, she got them engaged in ways that count. Whether it was signing up to volunteer or just realizing their vote can genuinely make a difference. "I don't care if you're voting for the first time or the 20th time," she said. "If you're 18 or 80, your power is in that ballot." There's something impactful about hearing that kind of message from someone who understands what it's like to struggle. Cardi didn't just speak to her audience, she was one of them. Let's not forget the visuals from that night. Cardi, standing there in her star-spangled outfit, hands gesturing wildly as she called out Trump's blunders, was already a moment to remember. But it was her stage presence, loud, unapologetic, and full of energy, that really sealed it. It was as if she wasn't just at a rally. She was headlining a concert where the setlist was made up of all Trump's biggest failures with an encore of "Get Out and Vote." By blending humor, personal stories, and raw energy, Cardi managed to take complicated political issues and make them digestible, not to mention funny. At the same time, she reminded everybody in the crowd that engaging with politics doesn't mean they had to sound like some stiff politician. It was accessible, it was fun, and it was effective. Together, Swift and Cardi B are proving that when pop culture meets politics, the results can be game-changing. Taylor and Cardi aren't just roasting Trump for laughs, they're using their platforms to inspire real political action. And it's working. Taylor saw youth voter registration explode after her Biden endorsement, while Cardi's passionate rally speech motivated hundreds of young women to volunteer within hours. Dr. Elena Martinez calls Swift's activism engineered for maximum cultural impact, while MSNBC's Joy Reid says Cardi's efforts rival Obama's 2008 youth campaign. Whether or not you agree with their politics, you can't deny one thing. Celebrity influence is shaping real political movements. So, what do you think? Can pop culture truly change the political game?